We have two intrepid travelers from Des Moines, Jeff and Laurel. Thank you guys for coming out. There actually were about 12 people from Des Moines, I think, who also went with us. And I thought I would give the group that went an opportunity to share one story or moment, one highlight from the trip that they really liked, something that was unique anyway for them. Short, but a nice little memory. For me, I'm just going to start because it was one of the things that I hadn't seen before because it was a new museum to me, the Palmach Museum, which tells the history of the foundation of the State of Israel. The Palmach was the fighters before the state was founded. They led into the, not the Irgun, I'm forgetting my name.
No.
Not the Irgun, they led into the other team, the Haganah, thank you. I knew there was a term I was forgetting. But it was a wonderful way to get sort of a backstory, not only of the Aliyah that started in the late 1800s, but also then what was going on during the British Mandate in the 20s that led up into the foundation of the State of Israel in 1948 and the fighting that ensued. We started our trip off that way, and I thought it was a great way to kind of set the stage for us. There were some wonderful other things that I saw, but I'm going to let anybody else that would like to share a story, either come up as families, couples, or whatever, but share one story, please.
My story is very short. It has to do with the hotel. It was a beautiful day. The sky was an Israeli blue. And we got there. Let's leave the gender question aside. It's stupid and so forth. All I know is I was standing there with my kippot on and my prayer shawl, and I suddenly realized, we're here. We're here, and it's not being taken back. And I started bawling. Tears started coming. Fred came over to give me a little bit of assistance, and maybe some strangers did also. And people were standing around, as Jews do, doing their own thing, which was kind of wonderful as well. But we're here, we're there. And that, to me, those two words just say so much.
The non-photographs, the watercolor paintings, are things that Hugh designed. They're on the table. He'll tell you all about them after services at ONEG, if you'd like. And you can sit down for a while. We get everybody else who wants to share. Please.
She's speaking for us. Yeah. One of the things I most wanted to see was Masada. And at the time that we were there, I was also, with my book club, reading The Dove Keepers. And so it was so timely because I was able to see what they were talking about in the book and to take pictures, and then to bring that to my book club was pretty amazing. So that was very special for me.
Come on.
We'll make you do your bat mitzvah.
highlights were the Dead Sea and the fact that we got ice cream every day.
Yeah. Pretty much
At
every
least
day.
once every day.
Yes,
pretty much.
once every day, at least.
Yeah.
Because Rabbi Galita from Des Moines likes ice cream.
Yes.
So I'll recall two moments. One was coming from the east through the mountain, and our tour guide said, when we come through the mountain, look to your left. And it was a beautiful sunset evening, and we came through the mountain, and there was Jerusalem, and Judaism. I'm not wrong. But just beautifully gleaming off the Dome of the Rock, and everything was amazing. And then the following morning, going to the Mount of Olives and just standing there looking from the east to the west and just looking at the whole city. For me, I think I said to my son, Connor, and Fred, it was just surreal that I can't believe I'm here.
Should I let her go first? No. One of the things that we both agree about was the feeling, describing not just some of the things you're seeing, but the feeling that you get when you're there. And, of course, as Hugh already mentioned, when you first go up to the hotel and you stand there and you see everything around you, you see people crying and bawling. Like he said, we're here, we made it here, we're still here. And thank God we're here. It's a miracle after so many thousands of years. And all around us were not just people seriously praying. There were soldiers. There were other people that were rejoicing. And all around us was the noise of the bar mitzvahs that were going on and people dancing and celebrating. So it wasn't solemn and sad and tearful. It was amazing. And then as Carolyn pointed out to me, just 2 blocks down the road was the Church of the Holy Sepulchre with the 12 Stations of the Cross. And we were able to go through there, and then a few hundred feet beyond that was the dome of the mosque. And to know and to feel how there was so much brotherhood among all the peoples and all the faiths. I made it a point to take at the time while I was at the marketplace to just visit with everyone that was there. And they had it worked out pretty well because I know this was 2 minutes. I've gone. Just ring the bell. After Fridays, first of all, on Saturdays there were no Jewish shops open. Sundays there were no Christian shops open, and Fridays there were no Muslim shops open or Arab shops open. So each day we got to visit with so many other people, and everyone was the same. Everyone was friendly, loving, and peaceful, and that's what touched me the most.
Okay, so I'm going to keep this really short. Outside of experiencing all this with new friends and old friends and all the experiences that we had, I would say, and understanding what Israel is all about, how close, and it's amazing that the state exists. One of my favorite memories is actually Shabbat dinner that we had with our host family. They were awesome. Hugh was with us. We had a really fun time. We were actually the last ones back to the bus. And they were, as the mom said, a typical Israeli family. She was from Colombia. He was from Sao Paulo. And they met in, what's the tourist town? Eilat. So that was one of mine. We had a really fun evening. Short and sweet.
Shorter than I.
Those were all great. Just made me think about it. We were at the Reform dinner, and we had our dinner and the prayer. The rabbi knows my brother. Knows my brother really well. Small world. Incredible. The stories were amazing. I had the Mount Olives and the view. This was just a fun story. So the Dillons invited Kathy and I to go to Bethlehem and see the church, Church of the Nativity. So we go, and it's kind of an interesting thing because we drive in, and we go from our Israeli car to our Palestinian cars. And we do a tour with a Palestinian guide, and our Israeli guide is with us. He's allowed to come with. So we do the tour. You don't see any Israelis. It's Palestinian Authority. You have to go to the tourist shop. It's very important. They mandate you go to the tourist shop.
Mandatory stop.
So I can hear the communication because we're with our guide, and he says, where are they going to pick up, our Israeli driver going to pick us up? And they said, we can't drive across the control point, you know. So we stop within clear eye shot of the guards, and 8 of us moved from our Palestinian cars to our Israeli car.
And it's Chinese fire drill
Yes.
type.
So we drive up, and the guards kind of relaxed. All of a sudden, he gets serious. They come up around the car. They're all talking in Hebrew. And next thing you know, all the cars are open, and these guys in full uniform. And it's not, the gun's not here, the gun is at us. Our guide said that they saw us transfer cars, and they thought we were smuggling a Palestinian into the country. So the first thing they asked is passports. And what did the Dillons say? We don't have our passports. We don't have our passports. Hey, take them. We're fine. We're fine. Just take them. Anything, Kathy, Dad? So, after they checked out the van, they let us go. But it was...
It was interesting.
Security's an important thing.
It's exciting.
And I think two things. We had 2 speakers while we were there. One was a gal... I'm losing my words. From the kibbutz, thank you. And she just talked about what it was like to live on the kibbutz, how things have changed since she first came to the kibbutz many, many years ago, and how they have to really start now planning for their elderly people because they haven't had those plans in place, and the different things, that they've needed to change. It's not as much of a commune type community anymore. And then we had another gal speak who I would say she's kind of on a par with our ACLU.
Yeah, she runs the Israel Religious Action Center.
Yeah.
Which is part of it.
So, and her group stands up for people's rights. One of the most recent ones was getting women the right to sit anywhere they want on the bus instead of in the back of the bus, which I thought was, a lot of it was very fascinating.
So I also, someone else mentioned the Friday night Shabbat. We got to have dinner with the family, which was pretty amazing. And just they had teen girls, so they got to talk to our kids and like, oh, wow, you have friends who are Muslim and you only have a few Jews at your school. That was really interesting. But also their service in the sermon, it was like Gay Pride Week, which for me was kind of special working with HIV. And then also getting to know our fellow congregants better and getting to know the people from Des Moines. That was the best part of it, I think.
Lots of amazing moments. We actually went down to a lot and went over to Petra, and unfortunately a few people were supposed to go along, and it didn't all work out that way. But we had our sort of Indiana Jones moment where you're walking through the stone cavern, well, I guess, I don't know, the little pathway.
Blow darts?
What?
Blow darts?
No blow dart. We didn't go into that part, the blow dart part. But you just sort of come out, and there are these big, huge carved stone areas, and it was all the pictures of things with like the red stone and things like that. Most of the pictures of those things are from Petra, and it was really quite amazing. And they also stopped at the tourist stop on the way. And the thing to get, and like every male tourist there, all got the Arab headscarf. And so,
why did I talk him into this?
Yes. So I wasn't going to get one, and Dina, I think jokingly, in retrospect, said you should get one. You should get the red one. So we got to learn how to tie headscarves and things like that too.
Very cooling if you put one.
Yes, it's surprisingly effective at keeping you cool in the sun.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight and for going on the trip. I had a great time. I thought before we go back and finish our service, the Shachianu would be the most appropriate thing here as we're all back together.
May I just say one thing? I brought pictures also that you may want to see of some paintings that I'm working on now of a synagogue in Tzvat. Right, exactly.
So anyway, Shachianu all together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam